Halo, a sports account for girls, has shut down after just 3 days, becoming the latest product for women to be roundly mocked and destroyed by the internet. But why do companies keep doing this? How bad was Halo really? And do we even need gendered products a lot of the time? We explore it all and look at some of the funniest social reactions right here on Scroll Deep with me, Benedict Townsend, the show that keeps up with internet nonsense so you don't have to, and which is only for cool chicks, sis. Yes, chica. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. No, you can't. It got shut down after 3 days. Halo, the disastrous new sports for women social endeavor from Sky, has become the latest thing made for girls to crash and burn in the age of the internet. And it's probably because every single part of it was demented. So what was Halo? Well, it was meant to be, quote, all sports and championing female athletes. We're here for the culture, community, and connection. Ooh, alliteration. We don't just watch sports, we live it. And when it was announced, I, like a lot of people, assumed that this would mean a social channel focusing on women's sports, which have long been undercovered compared to men's sports, but which are also more popular than ever. Women's football in particular is absolutely ascendant right now, especially off the back of two wins for England at the Euros, free from desire. But that is not what we got. When Halo actually launched, it was in fact just general sports coverage, but make it girly pop, oh, make it pink. The first sign of trouble was surely the launch posts where they voluntarily described Halo as Sky Sports' Lil Sis, which some people recognized as extremely patronizing. Why does it even have to be a little sis? Why can't it just be a sister? It doesn't necessarily have to even be a sister, but why does it have to be a Lil Sis? This reveals another huge issue with Halo, which I don't think is actually being discussed enough, which is that it was also aiming to be a young, online, Gen Z type brand, and it is or was a very bad example of that too, but we'll look at some examples and dig into it. While I say examples, they really only posted like one thing. On their account currently, there are 2 posts. One of them is a very bad post that went badly, and the other one is the announcement that they will be shutting down. But this was the one that went really viral. It's a clip of men's football with the caption, "How the matcha and hot girl walk combo hits." Does that even make any sense? Is that anything? Like, on top of the patronizingness of that, it's barely a meme, it's barely a concept. It feels very AI generated. It's like, what do women like? Pink, matcha, hot girl walk, whatever that is. There is something they're trying to get to here. Like, there are fan cams online. There are, there's videos where it's women explaining sports concepts using makeup or whatever, but it's all kind of tongue in cheek. It's in on the joke. And I think they could have maybe done that stuff later, but you can't open with that, and you can't do it this badly. And it instantly sparked a whole host of very funny parodies. Women immediately putting pink text on things with, the Barbie song playing in the background. There's one that said, "Thank you, Sky Sports Halo. I finally understood why I couldn't understand football before. It's because there wasn't pink writing on the screen and loads of girly emojis." Or there was this very funny parody, which is Sky Sports Halo for Men, with the caption, "How the cold beer and manual labor hits," which I think just highlights how silly this is. It's the classic thing of men get the normal default thing, and then women have to have this other very specific thing, which apparently Halo had an all-women team. Pause. If you're on that team, reach out to us anonymously. We'd love to speak to you. I think probably a woman had this idea. It was then passed to a more senior team, presumably of all men, because that's how it tends to work in senior management. And then they kind of changed it into their weird perception, which was what if sports was for 6-year-old girls who are alive in 2010? And then they passed that to an all-women team who did a bad job and then presumably took all the blame, and then they immediately shut it down. And someone probably went, "See, people don't like women's sports after all," and nothing was learned. That's my assumption of how this went. The predominant reaction has just been why can't women just watch the standard sports coverage? Why do they even need a separate thing? Fair enough if you're doing it in a memey way, which I guess they were trying to do, but surely women can just watch sports coverage and do watch sports coverage. Or they say, well, they don't cover women's sports enough on the regular coverage. Cover more women's sports then. Why must it be segmented into its own thing? Girls on the Ball, which is an award-winning women's football platform, they tweeted, quote, "Have many thoughts, which I will get to when not under a mountain of writing, but all I can ask is why. The branding, One day, can we please get past the pink peach stage, the premise, the copy? Can't imagine this is what women's sports fans want, and taking a brief look at the comments, it seems like we're not alone. Other people called it, if your dad made a football channel for girls. Damning. Someone else said, I've noticed there's a misconception about Halo. It's not about giving women's sports more coverage, it's about having a separate channel for female spectators and separating us from the main channel, which is why it's even worse. Because again, I do think just a place where there was extra coverage of women's sports would have gone down well. People want that. Like I said, one of I think only 2 posts on the account now is the shutdown post, which says, quote, our intention for Halo was to create a space alongside our existing social channels for new, young female fans. We've listened. We didn't get it right. This feels a little bit ChatGPT, dare I say. This has the cadence of AI. It's got a little bit like, it wasn't just wrong, it was really wrong. As a result, we're stopping all activity on this account. We're learning and remain as committed as ever to creating spaces where fans feel included and inspired. A little bit of a contradiction there of we're learning, we're also stopping all activity. We will do learning, just not here. People then reacted to it shutting down. Someone said Sky Sports Halo is officially dead, bullying works. Someone else said, gonna drink some matcha and have a hot girl walk to celebrate the dissolving of Halo. My 2 cents is, I actually think it's a bit too far to completely shut it down. I would have kind of put it on ice and said like, we're gonna pause this for a few months and then kind of rejigged it, maybe got a new team in and then tried to launch it again. I do respect that they were like, people don't like this, we need to stop. But I think it's actually a bit too far to shut it down because now you have completely removed your female sports platform. Why didn't you just change it into the thing people want? That wouldn't have been that hard. It only existed for 3 days. What if you just tried a 4th day? This is hardly the first instance of a brand deciding that girls need their own branding. In fact, we've actually got another product that's just come out. This is Flirt, or FLRT. Flirt. Flirt was born from a simple idea. Energy should be as vibrant, fearless, and fun as the women who drink it. Better for you ingredients with 0 sugar, no crashes, and no compromises. This is from Monster Energy, so this is Monster Energy for girls, also known as Monster Energy. As a lot of people have pointed out, Monster Energy I think is fairly popular across the board, I think almost especially with women. I don't know if you needed to girlify this. Also, there's a very strange strain I've noticed in these kind of thing for girls products where it's all about like romance and it's almost a little bit like sexualized. Like everything about this drink, which is called Flirt, it's like on their website it's like meet your new crush. All the drinks names are all a bit like love related and it's like, why is that what we associate with women? Is it just that men are so emotionally dead, women have a monopoly on feelings? Going back, of course, people were bringing up there was famously the Bic pen for women, which I think was pink again. There was Punk IPA, they launched Pink IPA a few years ago, which was like beer for women. The idea is always just like, let's make an existing thing pink. Maybe men could enjoy pink. Hey, wouldn't that be a 5D chess idea? Plus there is the famous, it's literally called the pink tax, which is the second you make something for women, which usually just means making it pink, it also becomes more expensive. It's like if you buy women's like deodorant, it's usually more expensive than men's deodorant, even though they're both just roll-on deodorants. I think the grand irony here is that I actually don't think women need to be catered to in this way, but I do think men, or straight men, do. Like, I think men are the ones who have more of an aversion to buying a pink thing or a girly thing. Like, there's famously a men's makeup brand that's called War Paint. I mean, every men's product is like, it can't just be moisturizer, it has to be called like Gun Bullet or something. Whereas I feel like, you know, women will just buy a shampoo that's like in a grey bottle. So it's very funny, the perception that it's the other way. I think it's men who are more sensitive about this stuff. So what have we learned? But generally speaking, you know, we live in an age of like, maybe we need to get rid of these binaries, you know? Okay, yeah, there's men, there's women, there's non-binary people, whatever, but like, why were we ever really gendering products? The vast majority of products and services and brands do not really need to be gendered, and it doesn't serve anyone or help anyone that they are. What do you make of all this? Do you think Halo could work? Do you think if they restarted and sort of reconfigured it, you would be down for Halo moving forward? Are you someone who appreciates products that are branded to you specifically in a gendered way, or do you just not give a damn? I feel like most people do not give a damn, really, or at least most women don't. But let me know in the comments, I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. And now we come to the secret question, which is, please give me the name of your favorite female football player or your favorite female athlete. I'd be interested to see who people like. I'm gonna go with Georgia Bell, who is an athlete, a British athlete who competed at the Olympics, who I went to primary school with. And I have a tennis ball with a face on it. So we're both sports people when you think about it. Producer Tia is shouting out Abby Pulling, who apparently is going to be the first modern woman in F1. There are several Victorian women currently competing in F1, but they are, of course, the problem is they're in black and white, so it's hard to watch them on TV. When I'm trying to serve the ball, but I've got a matcha in one hand and a rose gold iPhone in the other, that's tennis. Bye. And then I'm also, sorry, for the women, I'm also going to do bye. Make it pink.